Hey there everyone, and welcome to the Time Attack event in Neo Monsters. I don't normally do commentary on Neo Monsters videos. I normally just stick some music to the background because that tends to fit the style a bit better. But I thought I'd do it for a bit of difference, add commentary to this video, as well as I thought it was quite an appropriate one because this is going to be showing how to do the Time Attack event. We're going to be going through 3 of the battles in this, the 5-minute round 12, the 4-minute round 12, and then finally the 3-minute round 12. I've actually got 4 clips in this video because my first attempt on the 3-minute one, I came incredibly close to doing it, and I thought I should share it because it's kind of fun. So first of all, we're going to be going through the 5-minute one. I'm not really going to do much commentary on this one. You can just have a look at what's going on, and I'm going to talk about other things. So a few things about this event. You kind of want to put this the battle speed down to 1 rather than 3, because if you have it up at 2 or 3, then it will pass 2 or 3 seconds for every 1 second that passes. Efficiency wise, you just really want it down at 1. If you've got a strategy that is super fast, then maybe you could do it at 3, and certainly on the easier battles you can have the battle speed up higher. But when you get down to the really tough battles, I would recommend turning the battle speed down, just to get it gives you more thinking time, even though you really don't want to think on any turns. You want to instantly take a turn as soon as your monsters get turns, because it gets really tight. I do like this event a lot. It's a lot of fun, a very different way of playing to the rest of it. I mean, PvP, we kind of have to be quick, but we got a bit of a space there to think about things. Anyway, so for this kind of event, there's pretty much just one way of doing it, because when you get to the later rounds, what happens is you start facing tougher enemies, but also they all get buffed. So certain strategies which just don't do that much damage, like poison basically, they won't be able to do enough damage to the enemies in order to kill them quickly enough. So that's one thing. And then also, as you go to the later rounds, the number of enemies increases. So when you get to round 12, there are 16 you need to get through. Now, to get through 16 in that amount of time, you need to be sweeping them kind of loads at once. Therefore, the best strategy to use is to do with mega bombs. So you've got to create a team around mega bombs, and in terms of setting them up, as far as I'm aware, there are basically 2 ways to do it. Either you do it with stun, or you do it with one-on-one. Now, in this video, I'm showing it with one-on-one. There is another video I'm going to link in the description, with his permission. I kind of need to get first, but there's a guy on YouTube. His name, it's difficult to say, it's basically Lunatic, and he's got a brilliant strategy which is faster than mine, which is using stun. It's faster because you can pass a lot of time, past that 400 seconds in a much faster speed. Using one-on-one, you can pass the 300 seconds of the sleep in about 1 minute, and then you've got, in the 3-minute challenge, you've then got 2 minutes left to kill off all the enemies. But anyway, so my one is going to be showing sleep, which is a bit slower. However, it's using monsters which are a bit more accessible than the stun version that Lunatic did, which is why I thought I'd do this. So anyway, you've seen my strategy in practice here. It actually got a bit messy, but because it's 5 minutes, I can kind of do it anyway. So you can see here, it took me like 3 minutes 20 to do that challenge, which wouldn't cut it when you get down to 3 minutes. But certainly it was perfectly fine, and it went messy there, so did that one first try. Next we're going to be going into the 4 minutes one, and I'm actually going to properly commentate on what's going on, so you can see the kind of decisions I'm making and what I'm doing there. I think I do this one first try. Oh no, I do it second try. I don't know what I did, what messed up the first time. But typically, using the strategy which I was doing, I could do a lot of the earlier challenges a lot easier. It was only really when I got down to 4 minutes and 3 minutes that I started failing. So here you can see Captain Mystics gets a turn very quickly. I'm mainly focused around him. Yeti Kong is +9, which means with his 82% speed, he gets a turn before almost everything else. Now I use a reckless attack on Blitz Dragon to draw out that time strike, because I don't particularly want him stepping back just yet. Reckless attack is also nice because Yeti Kong's not going to get a turn for ages, so he's not going to waste time getting turns. You'll see here, if you watch the time at the top, when the sleep has ended, it should be roughly a minute that's passed. It should be down to 3 minutes left. So at this point you can see time's passing nicely, everything's going very smooth. I think this one is actually an incredibly smooth one. Can't remember exactly, we'll see as it plays out. But I kind of want to kill Yeti Kong off as soon as possible so that Megavarthan can come in and start charging its Mega Bomb. Doesn't usually use it, but it's nice if it can be charged. So Captain Whiskers gets a turn as soon as the sleep's ended. So I know I need to pass about 80 seconds now before the Mecha Barrage is charged. It's like a 400-second Mega Bomb. But anyway, so I had to go behind Atrasis. I knew I needed to do that anyway. So at this point, I'm just passing turn to get it to Captain Whiskers to get that Mecha Barrage off. That will kill everything. Now, what's brilliant about Captain Whiskers and why I'm using him especially, I'm actually focusing around him a lot and using a lot of give turns, is because you can reuse that Mecha Barrage. So you can see here I'm doing a second one, and that means I've still got that 400-second Nova Blast and Mega Bomb with those two other monsters. Surprisingly, there wasn't actually any stunning entrance there, so that I was able to use that immediately. Although annoyingly, there's an Onageist. I just hate Onageist in this event. Its camouflage is really annoying, as well as Dream Hunt. But anyway, so as you can see, then get another Load Mortar on. I've got 2 give turns lined up for Captain Whiskers. I think actually I give turn to Basiligon to take down Onageist here. Because I want to get through that. I didn't actually look at this point. This is where I didn't do it as well as I could have. I didn't realise there was only 1 in reserve. So I gave a turn to Captain Whiskers. I should have actually given a turn to Basiligon again for another Bloodthirst, and then Captain Whiskers would have got a turn and I could have finished it off there. But anyway, so I took a little bit longer than I actually needed to at this point, but it doesn't really matter. I can now just finish them off. So you've got a bit of an idea of what my team's built around at this point. It's basically built around Captain Whiskers, trying to reuse that Mecha Barrage multiple times. So having a lot of give turn monsters around that front point to give turns to the right things. If those Mega Bomb monsters get stunned, they need to be given turn to so they can use that. And then I have a mixture of stun and sweepers and give turns going throughout the team. Basically just tons of stun coming in there. Because they're random monsters, they don't really have much stun protection. So it really helps to have a lot of, especially those shocking entrants which can send themselves back. Because as soon as the enemies start getting turns, things go to pot. They take too long, and you need to be spending all that time with your monsters having turns and sweeping them out. So this was my first attempt on the 3 minutes. There is a Bunker Beast, which I just knew it wasn't going to work because Bunker Beast was there, but I thought I'd give it a try. It's still awake, obviously, because it's got that sleep immunity, which is really annoying. But anyway, at this point now, I use Reckless Attack on Bunker Beast rather than Typhon Dragon, because I want to draw out the Time Strike from Typhon Dragon rather than using Ultra Thunder. I don't need all my monsters to be awake at this point. It would just waste time, as well as I know that Bunker Beast will hit Megavarthan at this point, which means the Mega Bombs still have a better chance of surviving. If all my monsters were awake, Bunker Beast probably would have targeted Captain Whiskers. And again, I didn't want to wake them up at this point either. I also saw that Typhon Dragon's now going to wake everything up, and I've got the Stun Blitz ready just at this point to stun Bunker Beast. Unfortunately, I can't actually kill it before it gets another turn, so it is going to kill something else. But anyway, I was able to start sort of getting things going and just hope that it's gonna come together. It does actually come together very nicely. Again here, I tried to draw out Bunker Beast's Piercing Mortar on Poseidon, because they typically like to hit things which have put a huge number of seconds, although unfortunately they hit Delegazar, because for some reason it just kind of took over as if it was a person. Now here I messed up. I shouldn't have done Stealthful there was no need. The animation's actually really long. But anyway, I'll mention it again later on because it annoyed me. But anyway, so now we can actually start sweeping. I've got 1 minute 20 to get through 15 monsters, but it is possible at this point. Although saying that, I really was not thinking it was going to work at this point. They all have turns, they're just going to waste a load of time. Thankfully that didn't clone. I was very lucky that didn't clone. So at this point, I've got to give turn to something, and I give turn to Poseidon because it's going to sacrifice itself, which means the shocking entrance is going to come in and hopefully stun a load of things. Now, unfortunately, they had 2 stun immune things, and I was like, even with the team turn as well, if that uses a team turn, like, I am just stuffed. Like, you know, it's going to waste so much time. Thankfully, it doesn't, and I can kind of see this coming together maybe somehow, but I still didn't think it. You actually get to see quite a bit of my team in this one because quite a lot of my monsters die. You can see it's just a mixture of stunning stuff. I'll show my team at the end of this video, so don't worry, you will be able to see it. Now, at this point, I'm pretty lucky because he time strikes, and it means I can give turn to Captain Whiskers. And as you can see, it's coming down to the wire. Like, I get the kills, and then I was so annoyed because, like, literally, you know, that's probably like a second or less. If I had any more time there, I would have done that. But unfortunately, I delayed a little bit earlier on. There was a Neko Barrage which I paused on for like a second, maybe 2, as I was wondering whether or not to use it or to do a different Monsters Mega Bomb. And also the Stealth Wall that was completely unnecessary. That was wasted time. Yeah, if I just cut down on those, I would have actually done it that first try. But anyway, so I then had, like, I think it was 4 failed tries. 3 of those times I came up against Ownergeist, which I just cannot counter. And then another time was against just some annoying things. This is the time I did it. So as you can see, a bit luckier with the start here. I've got Celeste Wing, which isn't going to do that much. I don't think it has double survivor at this stage, actually. So it couldn't really do anything. And then the other monsters, they're not going to do that much either. Nothing's stun protected. So everything's going to come together and be actually really quite smooth in this one, I believe. So the 2 strategies which I mentioned earlier on, the stun strategy, which I'm going to link in the description, it includes some quite specific legendaries, which is why I wanted to come up with something which a lot more people should hopefully be able to do. I also did this because my brother plays the game too. He's played the game for like about 1.5 years less than I have, so he hasn't got the same pool of legendaries, and he can't necessarily, you know, do some of these challenges. So we needed to come up with a strategy that was more accessible for most people. And this is what we came up with, where you use Captain Whiskers, using the 1-on-1, and then a couple of other Mega Bombs. Then using a series of stunning entrances with give turns and stuff. A team turn that's stun immune is very good. Other give turns with stun immunity, very good too. It can all kind of come together. And you'll see from, I think, this one, where I do it really quite quickly, when it comes together, it really does come together nicely. So it's not as fast as the stunning method, because you can really quickly pass the 400 seconds with that. However, both of the strategies they work for 3 minutes, as well as I'm trying to think what it was I wanted to say now. So both work, but this one, yeah, they each just basically depend on whether or not the enemy lineup counters what you have. So there'll be counters to stun. If they have any kind of stun protection, then the stun strategy won't work. Here, if they have any kind of sleep, you know, 1-on-1 protection, then this strategy won't work. You just have to repeat it. There are different monsters each time you go into it, so you just got to repeat until you get lucky. Here, actually, I think I could have done slightly better here at the end. I was it's one of those moments where I was panicked and I was thinking, this is the time I do it. I'm pretty sure I can do it. What's the fastest way? And I couldn't really piece it together in my mind. But as you can see there, I was able to get the stun in, and Motor Dragon was screwed. So I actually wasn't sure if I was going to use that Mega Bomb, whether or not the Bronze Shells would be added first and then the Bronze Shell would come in rather than Zeus Worm. I think that's why I paused very slightly, and I wasn't sure if I should do it that way. But as you can see, it worked that way. So that was it. That was the 3-minute one. Now done all the clips. Here now I just show my team at the end. I hope this has been very helpful to anyone who's looking at how to do these challenges. And I will be putting this into my guide as well on the forum, which I'm kind of putting together for how to do each event. I believe this should be good, especially with my commentary. I wanted to put a little bit more of a thought into it rather than just the video with a little description. I'm sure that you could do it with slightly different monsters. You don't need all these legendaries in order to do it. Especially, you only really need half a team or a little bit over half a team. Going back beyond that, you don't actually get those monsters at the back. So Captain Whiskers is so good because that Neko Barrage is reusable. It also ignores shields and hold ground, so it doesn't matter that the enemies are buffed, it just pretty much always kills them. It's only storm monsters which it won't kill. As you can see, going back through the Stun Blitz and Basiligon, that's really helpful. And then we've just got a mixture of give turns, team turns, and a few sweepers through there. So Zeus Worm's actually brilliant for both because he does the stun only on one monster, but it's helpful. And then he can be a sweeper, and that's the rest of it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will be making various Neo Monster videos from time to time, tutorials and strategy stuff, and otherwise just fun things. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another one soon.